I used to be a winemaker. She got me drunk off my own supply. I don't ever drink my own supply. 13% alcohol content. She said, "Ooh, Daniel, come and drink this wine with me in the room. I'm gonna bring a glass." I'm like, I ain't trying to, but my dumb self did what it did, and that's just the level of accountability I have for it. So here we are today, trying to hope and pray we can find a wholesome woman that could treat your boy right. Somebody with some knowledge on her side that has been through the trenches and know how tough it is in this dating pool that got all the piss in it.
Look at her face, bro.
All a work in progress.
She doesn't believe him. But if it was a woman, she would never question the woman like the way she's questioning him, and she would never make that face.
That's out here,
Look at her face.
That's the story you really want to tell? So that's the story you really going with?
I'm going to say, you put the words in my mouth when you initially said rape.
No, you were supposed to. Hold on.
What was that?
I said that. No, hold on real quick. I said that because you said a woman trapped you. So sarcastically, I said, "Oh, she you,"
right?
And then you said yes.
Why would you sarcastically say that? I'm telling you, women like this, they can't fathom that women assault men. Women assault men every single day, just like there's piece of shit men out here who assault women. You can see that obviously one way with men doing it to women, but she can't see it the other way. Like you don't see women every single day being arrested for being high school teachers, getting impregnated by high school boys. This happens every single day.
You know what? A man can never be a damsel in distress.
Facts.
Because at the end of the day, we're supposed to be masculine. We're not supposed to have feelings. But in the whole light of the situation, when we had the pre-conversation about kids, I didn't want to have kids at that time.
So here's the deal. Okay, if you don't want to have kids that time,
she keeps fighting
your
him.
Your responsibility is A, you don't have sex with her because you don't want to have kids. B, you wear a condom to protect yourself from having kids.
Yeah.
And then we can have the grown folks. There's a grown folks pull-out game. So my thing is, regardless of what she said, you are still a man that has to take accountability.
How many times should he say he's taking accountability? Plus, how many times, Kendra G, have women, single moms, come on your show with 5 different baby daddies? How many times have you told them, why didn't you use a condom? Why didn't you take birth control? Why didn't you do ABCD? Why didn't you remove the baby? How many times have you questioned women the way you're questioning this man's life? Like, the double standards are crazy.
We can rewind the video, love. I've already taken accountability for the whole issue.
Which shows Kendra G is not listening. He literally said this minutes ago, but she's not listening because she's already has him tuned out because there's no way in her mind that a man could be assaulted sexually.
No, she's listening. She can hear him. She's just pretending like she doesn't know what he's talking about. She's painting this narrative that, like, the Do Better podcast guy said, that she believes only women can be victims, wherever she learned that from.
So let's on record deny that you were because you was not.
She was there.
I'll just say, in a woman's eyes, no. But if I was to talk to a group of men and tell them what happened, it didn't happen to several dudes. We just don't talk about it. These are like stories we don't tell.
Yeah, because anytime a man says something this vulnerable, that, hey, I was touched, hey, this happened to me, hey, I was taken advantage of, people don't believe him. Even other men don't believe him. So there's this stereotype that, you know what, when things happen to a man, he just shuts up. Plus, sometimes when a man tells his woman, his wife, his girlfriend, she later on uses that against him. Whether they're in a fight, then that's why you were touched when you're a little boy. It's like, no, I told you that because I was being vulnerable. Now you're using it against me because you're mad at me.
Story we just don't tell. But at the end of the day, my perception is my perception of what really happened. Only I and the person that had the child that up and decided to be a single mother, because a lot of times, you don't understand, if there are women striving out here to be single mothers, they do not want men in the picture.
Facts.
And that is the thing in the Black community.
Hold on real quick. I'm not disagreeing with her intentions, right? Maybe her intentions were to get pregnant by you, to stay in America. There's no disagreement there.
Right.
The intentions of what you're describing could very well be true. The disagreement is you claiming to have been like That's the disagreement.
But you were not there. How are you going to disagree? You were not there. He told his story, right? Because I am sure if a woman told her story the same way, you would want us to give her grace. Sure, we don't have to believe her, but we don't have to question her like as if she's lying and that it could never happen. So if we're going to be fair, let's play fair on both sides. If a woman tells a story, let's give her grace, gather more information, but let's not just dismiss her from a negative point. If a man tells his story, if one man out of 1,000 comes out and tells his story, let's listen to him, so that we can encourage more men who go through this.
Let me see why, so I can give you, so we can move on. I got drunk off my own supply of wine that I made, that I squished with my hands. You serve me wine, you force it down my throat, I get drunk. Now, every woman's story is if they get drunk and they get instantly, the man is guilty, he goes to jail, locked away the key in the chamber of secrets.
Facts.
Like I said, in America, realistically, that will never be the man's narrative. And that's why hold on, let me finish. That's why when you said that,
she doesn't want him to talk.
I'm gonna let you finish, but I'm jumping in because
sure.
You are telling the wrong story. When those women are using the example of they have passed out, right?
Not true.
No. First of all, how are you going to tell that man what happened to him? How in the hell are you going to tell that man what happened to him?
Facts.
You weren't there. And what Kendra G is trying to insinuate is that if you ever hear a story of a woman being with a man and having too much to drink, it's because she's passed out. She can't get consent. That is a lie from the pits of hell. Women can turn around, have sex with a dude, had too much to drink, wake up the next morning and say, damn, well, I regret having sex with a dude. You don't have to be passed out unconscious. They can just say, hey, I regret having sex with a dude. That was great now, even though it wasn't great last night when he was taking you to Pound Town. Or there doesn't even have to be alcohol involved. A woman could just say the very next day or hours later after having intercourse with a dude, she could turn around and say, well, no, I take that back. It was great. Kendra G is in certain scenarios that didn't happen. They're going to tell this man how he was assaulted. What?
So these are what
Facts. Let me even add on to what he just said. In fact, a woman in the morning, even if she wasn't drunk, even if they had a good night, he was clapping them cheeks, make her orgasm after orgasm all night. He may not even, if he doesn't text her, she can just say he used her and then accuse him of something just because he didn't text her. You feel me? So it doesn't have to be that she was drunk, she doesn't know what was going on. It just has to be she's mad that he didn't text her or didn't give her any money, anything like that. So I don't know what Kendra is thinking, but she's lying right now.
Women that if they were drugged, they will say that they were not even coherent in the act of sex. They can't.
I'm telling you that I wasn't coherent.
No, you are coherent because you told me exactly what happened. You told me she
Damn,
was on top
this is
of
bad.
Me. You told me that.
I told you I was on top of her. She put her legs around me.
Either way, you are telling me exactly.
See how she's fighting him? Imagine this was a woman. Kendra would be canceled right now. But because he's a man, she can fight with him, not believe him, say he's lying, say he wasn't, used, manipulated and things like that.
What happened in the sexual activity. So you were not, you were conscious. So you can't use that as an example. And conscious, only thing you can say is if you don't remember nothing, and then that will still be hard because then it'll be like, how did you have an erection? But long story short, you cannot compare yourself to women who have been drugged because these women don't remember anything. You can recite
quote unquote.
No, quote unquote. That's what I'm saying. She's saying that shit is it's a fact. And also, Kendra G, he can still get an erection even if he doesn't remember it or all the other excuses you're using.
Quote unquote, Kendra don't remember anything. Anybody.
Also, she's acting like, so she believes the women who say that they were too drunk to remember. She believes them even if she was never there. But she was never there when this guy was used and he was drunk, but she doesn't believe him. You see what I mean? She believes the women, she wasn't there. She doesn't believe him, she wasn't there. Do you see that cognitive dissonance?
Body can wake up from consciousness during the act of something and completely fall back asleep. And when you go to court, like I said, it's her word against mine. Like I said, Kendra, at the end of the day, I'm not here to stir no pot. I'm not on here to stir the Yaya Sisterhood, Traveling Pants Club. Yep. I ain't here to do none of that. We just here to see if there's any honest women out here that can understand a brother's situation, because a lot of other brothers have been through the same thing I have.
Facts.
And I
Yep.
could be a bitter baby daddy, and I could be bashing her all over the world like most men would, but I don't have time to do that. I'm a progressive male. I done moved on with my life. She done got a whole nother man and is doing what she doing. So for me, we can all we can do is be adults about any situation and move past it. If we can't work what we got out, move past it.
Babe, we're gonna move forward with the interview, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Only a goofy woman is gonna reach out to you.
Women have come on her show with 10 baby daddies and 1,000 kids. She has never said that any man who's gonna reach out to you is gonna be a goofy man. She has never said those words. Recently, I did a video where a woman was asking for a man who makes $1 million and who's 6 feet plus, and that if she doesn't get that type of man, she's ready to die single. She never said any man who reaches out to you is a goofy man. But as soon as a man has his standards and just wants a normal woman, she says any woman who reaches out to you is going to be a goofy woman. You know what that's called? That's called sabotaging. Now she's painting him as the bad guy so that other women don't reach out to him. Sad.
Do you hear what she just said?
When you were talking about, you got to understand that type of woman is going to hit you up. Any woman with any sense is going to look at what you're saying about your ex and the child's mother and try to consider that as like, what the hell are you talking about?
Now,
It's his story. It doesn't matter. It's his story.
has Kendra G ever told any of these disgusting baby mamas who
That's what I
have
said.
7 children by 7 different men,
Facts.
a dude that's 6'5" and make $500,000? Those delusional ass women, have she ever said, "Oh, you're only gonna get goofies that call you"?
Never.
Let alone a woman who's called up and told Kendra G, "I was great." Because the minute that women go on Kendra G's show and say that she was assaulted, Kendra says,
I'm sorry to hear that about you.
and it keeps it moving. He's
Yeah.
never asked him to justify how she was great. What
Facts.
happened? And it gets worse, y'all. This is just the tip of the iceberg. It gets worse.
Right. And this is why certain words we just don't say. So jokingly, it was a joke to you. Wasn't a joke to me. I never nor laughed once about
It's
the
funny to
issue.
Kendra.
But nevertheless, you wanted to know more information about it. I have nothing to hide in this world. That's between me and God at the end of the day.
Well,
So
I
whether-
want to say this again.
Sure.
How I got there was
Yeah.
because you said you were taken advantage of.
He was. That's his story. You don't have to believe him, but at the same time, you are not the judge. He's not in court. He came here looking for a woman. He didn't come here for you to examine him to find out if he was really taken advantage of. Because if it was a woman, you wouldn't take 10, 15 minutes trying to find out if she's telling the truth.
That's why I said that, and then we went down
Right.
the whole rabbit hole. I would have never.
You
said
went down the
if-
rabbit
if-
hole.
if you didn't claim to have been taken advantage of.
I honestly don't feel like it's neither near here nor relevant to my decision making, how I conduct myself now. That was then, this is now, this is present day. I mean, I don't know.
Man, I like him. He's a well-spoken brother. It was if it was me, I would have already hung up on her. But the way he conducted himself, he didn't raise his voice. He was really calm in the situation. As after being that vulnerable, and you could find this was the first time he really spoke on this.